is Family Time 179. We're still talking about responsible decision making. And this week I want you to do some reflection. Reflecting is a very important practice. As we get to the end of the school year, this week it becomes May. I think we only have 2 family times for this year after this one. Seniors will be graduating. It's the closing of another academic year. It's important to reflect. It's one of the things that I love about school and that I have spent most of my life in school is there's a seasonal aspect to it. That we have the end of an athletic season and a quarter and a semester and at the end of a school year, and you have time to kind of look back, to reflect, to make some changes, and to start fresh or to build on where you were before. As you get into adult life, sometimes we don't always have that opportunity, or we don't make that opportunity for ourselves. It's easy to get into the routine of adult life, of all the responsibilities that we have, and running our kids different places. And depending on what your job is, your job may have a lot of routine to it. And days start to look similar, and weeks start to look similar, and time passes more quickly. It's important to take a break and look back and say, okay, how have the things going on in my life, how have they been impacting me? How have they been impacting the way I make decisions, the way I think and feel about things? What can I learn from my experiences? And how can I use that to set a course, to navigate where I want to go? Otherwise, we just let the inertia of life sort of carry us downstream instead of dictating what we want. So we have to reflect. I want you specifically to think about this year, this school year. What have been some of the major events in your life, in school and out of school? Some of the great successes, some of the challenges or failures, some of the obstacles, and how have those things impacted you? How have they made you feel? How have they maybe altered the way you think? Then I want you to consider more broadly. Think about how your background in general impacts your decision making. Think about traditions, your family, your culture. I know I'm very much the product of the family I've had and the friends and the environment, the school that I went to. Those things have all impacted me greatly, impacted how I think and feel about things. I think mostly in great ways. But it's also important to look at, sometimes I look at myself and think, I'm not happy with this quality about myself. Maybe I'm being a little too controlling about something, or I'm being a little grumpy about something, losing my temper. And it's important to say, okay, how have maybe my experiences impacted me? And not to give away control. I think that's a dangerous thing. To sometimes reflect back, well, I feel this way, I do this thing because of this. And certainly an influence. But when we recognize that we are being influenced by our past experiences, then we can take control of them. If I'm being a little guarded or a little temperamental about certain things, I can say, okay, that's maybe because of these previous traumas that I've experienced, these previous challenges. But I don't want those things to run my life. I don't want those things to take control of me. So how can I recognize that that past experience is maybe impacting me, but I can recognize that, I can accept it, radically accept it, and then I can learn from it and move forward. And that's the greatest part about reflection. Is no matter what happens in our life, no matter the challenges, we can always use those things. Those weaknesses or those obstacles can become strengths, but only if we learn from them. And that's what I want all of you to do. That's why we do all of this. Life is going to hurt. It's going to be a challenge sometimes. But if you can reflect, if you can learn, you can prepare yourself, you can build the life you want. Until next time, much love.